I'm continuing with my reading here. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I'm reading in a chronological order according to events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be jumping around a little bit. Right now, I am reading in Exodus, and there are some portions of the Joseph Smith translation that I will be referring to. What this is an inspired correction or translation of the Bible that done by Joseph Smith that restores those portions that were lost over the years. Right now, we are in Exodus chapter 9. So, here we go. The Lord destroys cattle of Egyptians, but not of Israelites. Boils and blains on Egypt. He sends hail and fire upon people of Pharaoh, but not on people of Israel. So again, you'll note that these later plagues, God puts a separation between Israel and Egypt. Before, the first few plagues were on the entire land of Egypt. Now it is only on the Egyptians, and the Israelites are being spared. So, verse 1. Then the Lord said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For if thou refuse to let them go, and wilt hold them still, behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. Exactly what that word is, I'm not sure, but the footnotes just say it's another word for plagues. So, I've read this several times, and I never noticed that use of that word there. Verse 4, And the Lord shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt, and there shall nothing die of all that is the children's of Israel. And the Lord appointed a set time, saying, Tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land. And the Lord did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died, but the cattle of the children of Israel died not one. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of Israelites dead. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. Now, this is an interesting plague, because this isn't God bringing flies or bringing pestilences in. This is him just wiping out the cattle. How he did it, we don't know. I think the word murrain is not just plague, but it's a disease. It's a disease that came in and basically in one day wiped out the cattle of the Egyptians, but it didn't touch the cattle of the Israelites. This is where the power of Moses is really on display, more than bringing the plagues. More than bringing the plagues, it is that it focused the plagues. The plagues were focused on one place. So, verse 8, And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, Take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt. And they took ashes of the furnace, and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boil was upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had spoken unto Moses. Okay, so a couple of things here. First of all, there's a Joseph Smith translation on verse 12 there. where it says, "And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them." Joseph Smith again corrects this, and it states, "And Pharaoh hardened his heart, and he hearkened not unto them." So again, we're putting the blame squarely on Pharaoh. This is not God causing Pharaoh to harden his heart. It is God giving him a chance and Pharaoh refusing. For those who don't know, a boil and a blain. These are very. I'm not sure how to explain the technical thing about a boil and a blain, but a boil is a very painful thing. I've had them before. Extremely painful. And a blain is like a oozing blister. These are just horrible skin blemishes, horrible skin disease is what we're talking about. And yet, and you'll note that in the last chapter, when they brought on the frogs and the lice and the flies, Pharaoh said, "Oh, just stop it, and we'll let the people go." But he kept taking back his word. On these ones, there's no indication that Pharaoh is even asking them to end the plagues. They bring the plague, that they wipe out the cattle. Pharaoh won't listen to them. They bring the boils and sores. Pharaoh will not listen to them. So he is getting even more hardened. Verse 13, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth." "For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up, for to shew in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou wilt not let them go. Behold, tomorrow, about this time, I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as hath not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even until now. Send therefore now and gather thy cattle and all that thou hast in the field, for upon every man and beast which shall be found in the field and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die." And he feared the word of the Lord among the servants of Pharaoh. He that feared the word of the Lord among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the houses. And he that regarded not the word of the Lord left his servants and his cattle in the field. This is a very important part here. Sorry for the lighting. But we have a significant portion of Egyptians are now listening to Moses. They are hearing what Moses is saying, and they are doing everything they can to save themselves. Egypt is not completely against the Israelites. Pharaoh is, and so the people can't go directly against Pharaoh, but the people are starting to listen. They're starting to see Moses and his God. There's power there. And if he says it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and we got to save ourselves. Verse 22. "And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch forth thine hand toward heaven, that there may be hail in all the land of Egypt, upon man and upon beast and upon every herb of the field throughout all the land of Egypt. And Moses stretched forth his rod toward heaven, and the Lord sent thunder and hail, and the fire ran along upon the ground, and the Lord rained hail upon the land of Egypt. So there was hail and fire mingled with the hail, very grievous, such as there was none like it in all the land of Egypt, since it became a nation. And the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field, and brake every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were, was there no hail." Imagine this hail. This is hail so powerful. It is falling so hard, probably large, pelting the ground so hard that it is killing people. It is destroying crops. It is killing animals and men. But not only that, I like this description. And the fire ran along the ground. This wasn't fire falling out of the heavens. This wasn't meteors. The hail fell to the ground and somehow fire started to spread. I liked their depiction of this in the movie The Ten Commandments. It's the only popular media I've ever seen that actually follows that description of the fire running along the ground. This was an impressive miracle. And it is something that has never been seen before in Egypt, and I doubt we've ever seen anything like this since. Let us finish the chapter. Verse 27. And Pharaoh sent and called for Moses and Aaron and said unto them, I have sinned this time. The Lord is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. Entreat the Lord, for it is enough that there be no more mighty thunderings and hail, and I will let you go, and ye shall stay no longer. And Moses said unto him, As soon as I am gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands unto the Lord, and the thunder shall cease, neither shall there be any more hail, that thou mayest know how that the earth is the Lord's. But as for thee and thy servants, I know that ye will not yet fear the Lord God. And the flax and the barley was smitten, for the barley was in the ear, and the flax was bald. Means in bud. But the wheat and the rye were not smitten, for they were not grown up. And Moses went out of the city from Pharaoh, and spread abroad his hands unto the Lord, and the thunders and hail ceased, and the rain was not poured upon the earth. And when Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunders were ceased, he sinned yet more, and hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, neither would he let the children of Israel go, as the Lord had spoken by Moses. That is the end of the chapter. Note there, it took 3 plagues this time. In chapter 8, we read frogs, lice, and flies. After each one, he came to Moses and said, oh, it's enough. End the plague and we'll let you go. Moses said, okay, we'll end it. This time took 3 plagues, killing the cattle, boils and sores, and then hail and fire. After 3 plagues, he comes and says the same thing. And note also, this wasn't just a simple hail that fell for maybe an hour or 2 and then went away. It was a constant, long-term, this probably lasted a day or 2. And finally, Pharaoh calls in Moses and says, end it, stop this storm, and we'll let you go. And Moses says, I'll stop the storm, but I know that you're lying. I know you're not going to let us go. But I'm going to stop the storm to prove to you that God is in control. And remember, it is stopping the plagues that, more than anything, proves God's power. Causing it is one thing. It could even be attributed to natural causes, and you're just kind of lucky in predicting it. But if you can stop it once it has started, and just by your word say, it's over, that proves power. And as we see, Pharaoh once again hardens his heart, and now we're going to have to go into the next plagues. But that will be for next time.